Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So, guys, it continues the saga on the Focus ST. I appreciate all the comments, guys. All last night's video, everyone commenting, everyone suggesting this, suggesting that. A lot of people saying that the timing is actually out. It's not in the correct position. So what I should do is unpin it all, turn the engine around by hand, let the piston one go down and then come back up, and then that should be in the correct position when it comes to time. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to check. I'm going to make sure that that's what we do first, and then I'll check the plate on the back and make sure that we can get it in the correct position, top dead center. Someone said it was 90 degrees out, something like that. So we're going to be doing that first thing this morning. And yeah, just sort of carry on, really. I think the best thing to do is just to check the timing first. If that's okay, we'll move on, box it back up, and then we'll check the compression. And then just keep going through the motions. Just keep going through, you know, someone even said it could even be like a crank sensor. But we was getting signal from the crank sensor via the computer. So it can't be the crank sensor because we're getting a signal from it, if that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to go for the motions. We're going to find out. I'm not going to quit. I know I've got a couple of comments saying, "I'll just throw it back through Copart." That's not me. That, I believe, personally, that's morally wrong. Whether or not that's financial, the finance comes into it or whatever, it's just morally wrong to throw it through Copart and let someone else have the problem and the issue and stuff like that. And yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, it just ain't gonna happen, guys. That's not me. That's not the way I do things. So we will be, even if I have to change the engine on this car, it's getting done. But it's going to be a bit of a drawn out sort of saga. This is going to continue. That's you know, a new engine is like completely over the top, and it's the worst case scenario. But even if it is the worst case scenario, this car is still got good money in it. So I've checked the engine prices, and they're about £2,000 for an engine, which is a lot of money. But because of what I paid for it, still good profit. It's still going to be good. It's still going to be a great car for someone, and I'm still going to make money on it. So whatever happens, I'm sure we're going to get it done. But let's continue today, and then let's see what we find out. Let's do this. Guys, just quickly, before I set you up on the tripod, you haven't actually seen it at this stage, have you? So basically, after stopping filming last night, and I started the download, I thought, do you know what? Let me just stay another hour. Let me start stripping the front end off. And then before I knew it, it was completely off. There's one piece over there. It was all off, and it was all stripped down. And yeah, I started taking the engine man off. I took that out of the way because I'm just getting ready to get down there. But as soon as someone said about sort of checking the timing, well, I'm not going to do that yet until we've checked to make sure that those pins that I put at the back down here, we'll have to take them out, take that one off, and then the one at the back, take that one out, and then turn it so this piston here goes right down. I put a screwdriver or something in there, let it go right down, let it come back up to the top, and then that should be our timing marks. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I just wanted to quickly show you, because I haven't actually showed you that the front end is back off. That's how quick it was last night. I think I stayed another hour. Yeah, it just come off really, really quick. So it's kind of ready for that side casing to come off, so we can check, move these these cams at the top. But they might be all right. So let me set you up on the tripod. Let's get cracking. I'll get those pins out. I'll turn it over, and then I'll come back and we'll check the time, and I'll show you. Once I've done that, I'll show you on the back of the plate how it is. All right, and then we'll have a look at it again, and we'll go from there. So yeah, let's do this. Right, okay. So, guys, what I did, took that pin out. Took the pin out from the back that's locking the actual bottom crank. And you put the pin in the back of the engine and you turn it so it goes click. And then once it goes click, you can put that, once it goes click, which it has, you can put that pin in and it does. So I know that the bottom end is timed. Now, once I took the pins out, I put the screwdriver inside the cylinder 1 and then let the cylinder go all the way down and then come back up again. And then once it hit its highest point, I put the pin in the back, turn the crank bolt, and then put the pin in again, and it locked it in. So I've turned the engine over 90 degrees, like a few of you were saying. And then you were saying that once I did that, I could put the plate on the back of the 2 cams. But it's even worse. That is even worse than the previous time I had it. So something is definitely out, guys. The only thing I will say is that once I did that, it exposes these barcodes on the top of the cams. If I can show you the barcode there, and there's a barcode there. So I don't know if that's the correct position or how I had it before was the correct position. But either or, don't matter which way I've done it, the plate is still not going in the back. And this way is even worse. It's even worse. So it looks like the timing is definitely out on this engine. It could, I think it might have been right the other way because the markings are not there anymore. Look, there was a mark there and not a mark there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get a second opinion on this one. I think, but it's still looking like we've got to turn those cams. But it's whereabouts they need to sit for it to be timed. Do you know what I mean? Because like that, if I take this plate off and try and slide that in there, that would possibly, the intake cam would possibly this can't be right. This can't be right because if I put this plate flat onto the block, I've still got to get these dowels out of here to get it flat. I don't know. This something's really strange here. I don't know if I can show you it, but it just don't seem to be sitting. So I mean, I can't quite get that in there. I think this is the wrong position. I think it should be the other way around. How I had it before was the right position, I think. Because this, I'll tell you why. Because that slot there, I can't get the plate even on flat with the actual block. It's too low. Look how low it is. It's really hard to show you because the engine's at an angle as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a second opinion, and also I'm going to get some diagrams. I'm going to find out, look online, get some diagrams. But something is definitely out of time here. Something's definitely out. Right, okay. What a nightmare. I'll come back to you in a bit. Leave it with me, and I'll give you an update. See you in a bit. Right, okay, guys, here we go. Look, so I've taken the casing completely off the side, and yeah, now we've got to try and line it up with that plate. So basically, I've got to undo these bolts here, holding the cam with a spanner on those bits there. Hold it there, undo that, and then move the cam like this to line up the plate that goes at the back. So yeah, we'll just have to see what parts are actually that's in the way probably a little bit. I've got to be honest, that wiring it needs to go down a little bit like that. That's it. So yeah, now we can get this plate in the back of these two cams, and once that's in, that should be timed. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. But yeah, I'm going to go and go and grab someone to give me a hand quickly so we can hold this and undo it at the same time, and I don't want to move it out too much. And yeah, hopefully this is all going to go back together right. I've got to go and get some mastic from Ford's to get that mastic back on. We'll inspect the chain as well to make sure that the chain, but it looks pretty good, I've got to be honest. I don't really think there's any point changing that chain. It's only done 50,000 miles, isn't it? 58,000 miles, so it's not due, is it? It's not due. It's not due year or mileage. But I'm just hoping that once this is all lined back up and it's timed, the cams are timed correctly to fire at the right time, then I don't know. But at this point, we're still just guessing. We might just line this back up, box it back up, and then try the compression test, and there's no compression instead of a 3 or 4. Who knows? But we're going to try and do things one thing at a time. So let's time it up first so we know that's done. Yeah? Double check. And just go over the process, go over the motions, and just keep checking and keep double checking that things are how they should be. So let's get this done first. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. So just quickly want to show you something that I use when getting cars from Copart. Now, this is my watch list. So you can see the cars that are going through. Most are going through today. And then we've got, on another page, we've got some more going through, which is next week. But what I want to do is I want to show you the tools that I use to do a little bit more, get some more information about the car. So let's just take, for instance, this Fiesta. I click on this Fiesta like this, and if you watch this side, it's coming. Hold on. So there you go. So that information there is against this car here. This software that's downloaded to my laptop, which is auctionhunter.io, it tells you information about the car. It even tells you previous sale history. And that history is only related to Copart. It's not related to any other salvage auction. So, but what great information it is to tell you if it's been through the auction before. It tells you the previous keepers. So you've got 3 keepers from new. The mileage, last MOT mileage was 85,934, and the car is done 88,542. So I use that as a comparison to see if there's any sort of differences in what the sale is. Basically, you can see that it's a Cat N. It's a Cat N. So you know what I mean. So that's what I use. But let me show you a real bad one, and this is why I use that, because it will show me this. So let me just show you that. So if we go to, I found one to show you guys. So let me pick this one out here. So it's a 2009 Ford Focus Z-Tech. Okay. So this is the car, and it is a category N. Okay. Now that information down here, there's also this information over here. And as you can see, right here, it says previous sale history 1. And the previous sale history was on the 2nd of the 8th, 2023. Now, that ain't far off, guys. Look, it's the 28th of the 9th, 2023. So that isn't that far away from when this car was seen at Copart before. Now, why is that? You know, why is that? So let's have a look at the previous. So if I click on view, it actually brings up the information about that particular car. 2009 Ford Focus, blah blah blah, petrol 2,700, and the mileage 88,138 is the mileage. And also, it will tell you when it went through. 8th of the 2nd, 2023. And it will show you the detailed pictures of when it went through the auction on that time. So this information is so necessary to do what I do. And that is this place here. auctionhunter.io, completely free. You just click on download and you download it to your laptop or computer, at home computer. I don't think you could do it on your phone. I might be wrong, it's worth a try, but I think it's mainly to do with the laptop and the computer. So yeah, incredible information. So 88,134. Let's see. Look, 89,803. So not a lot of miles. And someone is throwing it back through Copart. I can't quite tell if it's insurance or it's a private entry, because I can't quite tell what it says on the screen at the end. It could be an X. It could be a C. But it just shows you guys, doesn't it? Look, that information there is so critical. It's so important to what I do. And anyone else wants to look at Copart, buy cars from Copart. But let me just go back to another one that I'm looking at. Let's just take this Fiesta here. Again, you know, as soon as you press it, the information pops up on this side, tells you about the car, tells you about the information. And it's just such a good tool to have when checking to make sure that there's no previous, look, see, 0 previous sale history. Last mileage MOT 64,845, 68,038. So very close to the mileage. And the other thing is, it is an X. Right there, you can see it, X. So you know the insurance company are putting it through. It's not a private entry. It's just, yeah, guys, that is really, really such a great tool to have. Because it just, as soon as you click on a listing, bang, it pops up. And no matter what listing it is, so let's just go to today's auction. Like that. Let's pick an auction, any auction, any car. Let's go for that one there. I've just picked a random one. So let's just go to this one here. 2015 Range Rover Discovery. And you watch, bang, the information will pop up straight away here. I mean straight away, because my internet is terrible at the minute, and that's why I'm in the truck. But if it was, yeah, if the internet was good, then it would pop up here, which it has right now. So you can see, again, 0 previous sale history. And it just tells you the information, engine size, last mileage, 66,624. Oh, it's not even on there. It's supposed to be going here. So it must be completely dead. But yeah, guys, listen. Get yourself that autohunter.io. It is really, really good and quick. Look, whilst you're looking at the cars, bang, it pops up here. It's just there. You don't have to ask for that information. You just click on the listing and bang, it comes up. As long as it's downloaded to your computer, you're ready to go. So I just wanted to show you that, guys. Let's crack on with the Focus ST and let's get the timing done and set. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, let me show you what is going on. As you can see, the plate does actually sit on those cams where we originally had it. It was a little bit of jiggery pokery with the actual the spanner on that cam, but it is actually timed. It's lined up. So this is very baffling. Someone has definitely been in here. Someone has definitely had this engine apart, and I'm wondering now whether or not they couldn't fix it. Honestly, I think now, right? It's overheated or something. They've lost coolant or something. It's overheated, and then they've tried to repair it. They've took the head off. They've changed the head gasket. Something like that. I've actually had someone else look at it as well, and they've said exactly the same thing. And it suspiciously looks like someone has had this off, because I don't know if I can see it, but right there, let me just show you. See that there? That's like it's like a sealant. That's where the head gasket sits. That there is where the head gasket sits, and that's a sealant there. There should be no sealant on that head gasket. It should just be the head gasket. Why has someone had this off and put that sealant around the head gasket? You can see it a little bit there as well, look. So I reckon, and I'm only guessing, and we'll probably have a better understanding once the head comes off. Yes, you heard me right. I reckon this is overheated. They've took it apart. They've put a head gasket in place. They didn't take it to the machine shop, get it warped, get it flattened, get it skimmed or whatever, and checked over properly. Chucked a head gasket on there, chucked some sealant around it, lined it all back up, put it all back together, boxed it all up, and then it wouldn't start. That's what I think. I think that's what's happened. And then basically all they've done is they've maybe got someone to drive into the side of them, smashed the car, threw it through the insurance company, took a claim on it, got their money out of the car, and then that's it. They just couldn't fix it. I reckon that's what's happened here. You know, and at the end of the day, that was my gamble. There was no keys. It didn't run and drive. But you don't. I morally wouldn't put all this back together and then back through Copart. It just isn't what I'm all about. I don't want to be like that. It's morally wrong. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the time. It's just morally wrong. I couldn't live with myself doing that kind of thing. And that's what I believe has happened in this case. So this is coming out. We are going to be pulling this engine out of this car, taking the head off, checking the head gasket, seeing what's going on, and just to see if we can repair this and put it all back together. Because these engines, these are a few quid, these engines. They're thousands to go and get them. But I want to try and give it a go. In between doing this, I'm going to be doing my all other stuff, my bread and butter cars. This is now going to be turning into a long-term project rather than a short-term project. But it is what it is. I took the risk. No risk, no reward, guys, and that's exactly what's happened. This has only happened to me twice. This is the second time this has happened to me. The first time was way back, years and years ago, when I first started doing this, back at my garage with the Mini Cooper. Some of you guys will follow me from the beginning, you will know that I've been through this when it comes to the engine and taking it apart and all that sort of side of it. But all I can do at this stage is take this engine out, take that head off, check it over, get it assessed, get it looked into, and then make a decision. So it is what it is. So yeah, let's get cracking. Let's see what we can do done today. I've got to drop the gearbox oil. I've got to drop the engine oil. I've got to take the drive shafts out, remove the exhaust from the back, a few plugs from the ECU, and one there from the main fuse board as well. And then the whole engine and gearbox will just come out, or I might drop it onto the floor, onto a pallet, and then just lift the actual car up in the air, and then it'll be on the pallet. So, yeah, let's crack on, guys. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, you've been watching me stripping it down. I've dropped the oil out now, so that's out of the way. Gearbox oil is out as well, so we've done that. That's over there. Started stripping off the front. I don't know why I've started. I could have done all this once the engine's out, I've got to be honest, but I just got involved just started taking things off, I've got to be honest, but it just is what it is. But you can see now, a little bit more when I said to you about the mastic that someone's put between the head, which is this part, and the block, which is this part, the bottom. Someone's put this mastic. You're not supposed to use any sort of mastic between the head gaskets. There's a gasket that sits on top of that. You're not supposed to use any of that. So why has someone been in there and used it and had a look at it and changed it or whatever when you're not supposed to do that? So yeah, we'll definitely have a better understanding, a better have a look at it, much better once the head is off. I have spoke to a couple of people now, and a couple of people have seen it and had a look at it, and they're all saying that this engine is absolutely bulletproof. So for it to go wrong, it had to go wrong in a bad way. But they're saying that they've come across it before. They've done it before. It was the top end, not the bottom end. This is all the bottom end, and it was the top end that they had an issue with. So we could get lucky here in a case of just taking that head off, and then it will just be a case of checking all the top end part of it. But you got, when you go into this kind of extent of taking an engine out of a car, you've got to strip the whole thing down. I've got to be honest, there's no really any other reason, to make sure 100% that everything's going to be okay. Strip it all down, change what you need to change, clean what you need to clean, and then rebuild the engine. And that's exactly what I'm starting to do, is strip it out. So, yeah, I've done the gearbox oil. So now we can pull the 2 drive shafts out of the way as well. So we'll probably work on that next, do the drive shafts. And then after the drive shaft, it's the exhaust, which is at the back here. That's got to be undone, taken apart there. And a few wires back to the ECU. That cables, that's got to come out of there. You could probably just undo the actual ECU from that and then just put the ECU on top of the engine. I suppose I could do that. Undo that earth cable there that goes to this chassis leg. Undo this cable here that goes to that fuse, because that's connected as well. And then everything else should go with the engine and come straight back out. But it's a lot easier now. The front end is off. It's a lot easier to do it. So, and I've got to be honest, like, I'm quite enjoying this. This is another learning curve, and it's something else I'm learning to do. So I am quite enjoying doing this. It's teaching me something else. So, yeah. But yeah. So let's get cracking. Let's do the drive shafts. Let's continue. Let's just see how far we get today, and then yeah, go from there. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, there we go. That is the head off the engine. I know I said I was taking the engine out, but I got a bit carried away and I wanted to see what was going on with this head gasket and yeah, I am going to get someone to take a really, really good look at this to see what he thinks. Obviously, I don't know the other side of the head in a minute, because you've got to be really careful with these cups. They've all got to be stay in the same position, on the same place. You can't mix them all up because they're set. So, yeah, but we'll just see how it goes. I've got to try and keep them there, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going to get someone to have a look at this because I'm not sure. To me, it looks... Let me have a look at the torch. Don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But at least I'm, doing a lot of the work. Like, this is just carbon build-up. Like, there's no... You know what I mean? Look, it's just carbon build-up on top of the actual pistons. So I don't think, that's going to be a major issue here. But someone's definitely had this off. Definitely had this off. Because of that mastic. That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to... The head gasket, and that's it. And someone's been putting this mastic in here, look. So, has the mastic gone down any of these channels and blocked the channel? I'm not getting oil pressure. Don't know. Yeah. I'll get someone to have a look at it. But for now, gonna leave it there. It might come out. I don't know yet. Let's just see what the guy says who wants to have a look at it for me. And then we'll just go from there, and I'll come back to you tomorrow. I'll let you know what's going on. And yeah, we'll continue with this one. But I've got to be honest, I am really enjoying doing this, stripping it down, taking it apart, taking pictures as I go, putting things where they should go, and sort of making sure I don't mix nothing up. And it's really sort of, I don't know, something about it. It's just really, it's really soothing. I don't know why. It just feels really sort of, really, I don't know. Just feels really good. So I feel really good about it, guys. I hope you feel really good about it as well. Don't forget to drop me a comment if you've got anything to say. Let me know what you think about this. There's obviously tons of mechanics on YouTube that watches me and other channels and believe or know that they can do it another way, or it should be done a different way, or whatever. So yeah, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. But for now, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me do this, like I'm enjoyed doing it. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Take care. See you soon.